Hello and welcome back to the channel. For this episode, I thought we would focus on snare drum EQ. We've already talked about kick drum EQ in a previous episode, and I'll leave a link for that later in this video. And right there with the kick drum, as part of the bedrock of any mix, is the snare drum. The snare drum is loud and takes up a lot of sonic space, and it can really make or break your mix. For this video, we'll focus on a top mic snare. In a future video, we'll discuss adding a bottom mic. Some popular mics you might see on a snare are the Shure Beta 56 or Beta 57, the Sennheiser 604, and the ever-popular Shure SM57. I'll leave some Amazon links in the text below for those. Snare drums come in a lot of flavors and tunings, so there's no real one-size-fits-all way to approach the snare, but there are some general rules that will apply. Use your high-pass filter. Bottom end fullness is around 160 to 250 Hz. Muddiness is around 250 Hz to 500 Hz. There's a lot of energy in the 900 Hz to 2K range. The attack and the snare buzz is around 2K. The sizzle in the air comes in around 6K and upward. So let's get our robo drummer going and try some real world examples. First, we want to engage our high pass filter, also known as the low cut. There are two approaches we can take with the high pass filter. One is to simply bring it up just below where the snare has any real sonic energy so that we aren't picking up any of the stage wash from the low end that our snare mic just doesn't need to hear. In that case, we're probably going to be in the 80 to 100 Hz range. The other approach is to go beyond that to thin the snare drum a bit if we don't want to hear some of that fatness in our snare. Basically, you can bring the high pass filter up until you hear it have a negative effect on the snare and then just back it off a bit. I'll bring it up here and be aggressive so that you can hear it take low end away from the snare and hear how this filter is working. Now I'm going to back it off a bit to about 100 Hz. I like the fullness of the snare, and I'm more interested in the snare mic not picking up low-end stage wash than using it to thin the sound of the snare in this case. I always want to listen to see what I might want to take away before I think about boosting anything. This cutting will allow what's left to naturally be enhanced. For example, if we take away low mids, we're naturally left with more low end and upper mids and highs. That minimalist approach might be plenty. Don't get caught in the trap of thinking that you always have to do a lot of EQ for a good sound. Let your ears be your guide. For these examples, I'm going to leave the default Q settings in place on the EQ. But I am going to change the low filter to be a low shelving EQ and the high filter to be a high shelving EQ as I'm showing here. If you understand what these do, then you might want to make these changes on a case-by-case basis. But for our general baseline, for a snare, a high and a low shelf is fine. For this snare, I hear something in the low mids that I think I could cut. If you don't instinctively know where it is that you want to make that cut, that you just hear something in the low mids, then you can go ahead and boost in the low mids a bit, and then sweep that area left and right until you hear the really annoying part stand out to you. By bringing that area up and sweeping, it'll exaggerate the problem and really make it stand out when you sweep to that point. So here it is what I'm hearing, and I'll cut it some right at this point. And here it is with the EQ off for comparison. And now the EQ back on. One point I'd like to make about this boost and sweep method. I don't really advocate doing it unless you hear something that you want to change and you really just need to hone in on that area. If you don't hear anything you want to change in the first place, there's nothing wrong with leaving well enough alone. If you boost and sweep without hearing any real issues before you do, then just by the nature of exaggerating the frequency response, you might find something you don't like. But if you didn't hear that already before you did the boost and sweep, then it likely was fine to begin with. You only made it a problem area when you boosted that area and presented that area out of context. Alright, back to our snare. I don't hear any other areas of the snare that I want to cut. So now it's a question if there's anything I want to bring out and enhance. I think I want to bring up the bottom. That low mid cut smoothed out the snare sound, but it also might have thinned it a bit. I'll boost it at 250 Hz and sweep a bit to the left to see where it sounds good to me in roughly that 160 to 250 Hz window. Just a few dB of boost here. A little goes a long way. Okay, about here. That sounds pretty good to me. Let's listen with the EQ off. And now the EQ back on. Now I want to address the attack, and I want to hear the snares cut through better. So I'll boost at 2K and sweep a bit left and right of that to find the sweet spot. Keep in mind, on some snare drums there might be plenty already, or this could be an area where you might want to even cut this. We're looking to enhance the natural sound of the snare. We don't want to make it piercing. Okay, that sounds about right. Let's turn the EQ off for comparison. And the EQ back engaged. Now maybe add some air in it, a little sizzle. I'll boost our highs at about 6K and sweep some going higher to try and find a sweet spot for that. I just want to give the snare a little lift. I don't want to make it piercing, and I don't want it to pick up too much of the hi-hat or the surrounding cymbals. I think that's close to what I'm looking for. Let's compare. EQ off. And now the EQ back on. Now we can add some reverb to that. I did a video about the Behringer Vintage Reverb and the Behringer plugins, and I'll leave a link here if you want to delve into that video and study some more about the Vintage Reverb, and in particular how it's used on snare. I also want to put up the kick drum EQ video link. Please like and subscribe to the channel and click the affiliate links to support the channel. I hope you found this info useful. Please leave any comments and video suggestions below. They really help me to know what videos you want to see. And I will see you next time.